somebody mentions classes to take for a transactional practice, and Cindy can mention those to take on the litigation side for. So for a corporate transactional practice, you would take business organizations, and preferably from me. You have wonderful corporate business organizations teachers. Steve Diamond and Anna are great, and David Yosefon as well. And I think Gordon Yamate might teach an advanced class in that area as well. So business organizations, individual and corporate tax, and securities are the four corporate key core classes to take. There are other classes in those series, like partnership tax is quite useful, very challenging. I audited it twice. I was too afraid to get a grade in it because it was so hard. International tax is useful today as well. Those are kind of optional, but they would be helpful. I think an intellectual property licensing class or a survey, an intellectual property survey class, if you're going to practice in any area where you're going to be working with high-tech entrepreneurs, so if you're going to be working in Silicon Valley, Boston, Kirkland, Austin, Texas, any place where there's a tech entrepreneur community, then you should be conversant in the legal areas that are going to affect your clients, because you are the gatekeeper to a lot of other services that the clients are going to use, and you want to be able to recognize the issues. In a sense, you have an interdisciplinary practice in a way, because you do get exposure to a lot of other areas of the law, because you're the clearinghouse for the other services for the client. You typically have the relationship, and you make the introductions and stay involved in some capacity, so you know what your colleagues or what services your colleagues are providing to your client. Now, at smaller firms, and even if you're on your own, you may be providing a lot of advice in these areas yourself, or connecting with other attorneys that specialize in those areas. And you also want to know what they're doing, so you can help the client when a major transaction comes up. You know who's provided the services, because you're going to need their input on a sale of the company or a financing, because there's going to be a presentation of the company's status in a lot of different areas, and you will be the organizer for that with the client. Cindy, what about classes for litigation?
I think that probably narrowing down practice areas is what's helpful for classes that you take in law school. You take IP classes and see if you're interested in that. I don't know if they have employment law classes or not. Real estate classes, just to figure out a practice area that you like, and then see if you can gear your litigation practice towards that area. I think that the absolute best practical experience you can get in law school for litigation is an externship with a judge. And similarly, the best post-law school experience you can get is probably a clerkship in litigation, because you get an overview of everything. And that's very helpful as well. And I believe externships, when I was here, externships you got course credit for. You actually work with the judge and get exposure to everything. And similarly, law clinics, where you're actually representing clients, and sometimes you're allowed to argue in court on their behalf. There's just nothing more useful than that level of practical experience. So once you maybe narrow down practice area, focusing on those types of practical experiences, there's nothing more valuable. You'll figure out really quick if you like litigation or not in those environments.